It is now 9:02 and the SSDAC meeting is hereby called to order. We'll go through a quick roll call. Okay, let's start with Commissioner Hawk. Commissioner Hawk?
Present.
Murphy?
Present.
Todd?
My two-day-old puppy. My two-day-old puppy, sorry.
David?
Present.
And Cookie Feeding is here as well. We also have as our guest, and will you give us your name again? Our new member,
Scott Roper.
Scott Roper, is with the City of Dallas, and we have Jason here. And thanks to Robin, who is emceeing and broadcasting for us this morning, and Donna Mormon's here with us as well. So thank you all for being in attendance. Jason, your show. And Jason, how do you want to take these cases, since we have two that were related in development and then we have the three that were in unison? Do you want to present them kind of all at once, and
I can do that.
do we have a motion that we can do those as a single vote, or do we still want to vote them separately, even though we let Jason cover it?
This
Still
is
vote them
Todd.
Separately?
This is Todd. I'd motion that we take them together.
Take them all
A second.
together? Okay, and if there's any concern about one of them, then we can pull that as a separate issue. Is that okay with everybody? Okay, all in favor of doing that? Oh, wait a minute, we don't have everybody on visual. Commissioner Hogg, is that acceptable to you?
Yes.
Murphy?
Yes.
Todd, it was your motions. I assume David is okay
Yes.
with that, and the chair also is all right with that. So let's go ahead, Jason.
Okay. Good morning, committee members. Jason Poole, Development Services. Our first item is case number 21101400015. It's an application for a certificate of appropriateness by Anna Mittag of Barnett Signs, Inc. for a 96.9 square foot LED illuminated attached sign. The subject site is located in sub-area 2 of the Jefferson Area Special Purpose District. It was formerly the Jefferson Boulevard Sign District. These regulations are in 51P 316.113. The address for this site is 611 West Jefferson, Suite 103. The sign is located on the south elevation. The construction of the proposed sign is in accordance with the SBSD regulations and meets the requirements of the Dallas City Code per section 51P 316.113. Here is an aerial map. You can see the sign is located on the south side of that building facing Jefferson.
Oops, your display's not moving forward yet.
Let's see if it catches up. That's weird.
Yeah, it's like it froze, Jason. Technical issues, hold on.
Let me try unsharing
And then
and
reshare.
sharing again. Everybody can still hear okay, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It looks
Well,
like
we
we've
can,
got-
obviously.
Well, it looks like we've
We
got
can.
video too.
Okay, good.
Go.
Okay. Here's the aerial view again, south elevation facing Jefferson. And here's the zoning map. As we mentioned, PD 316 sub area 2. And here's the applicant provided overhead view. You can see the lease space dimensions are up there at the top. And it shows the sign going all over the storefront. And an elevation view. That's the existing sign. Here's another view with a breakdown of the facade area and what is allowed. Again, this sign is 96.9 square feet. The total area they would be allowed for that facade is 595. Here's a detail of the sign. It's constructed entirely of metal, plastic, and LED lighting. There are channel letters, which are white, and each letter has a trim-capped plastic face and is backlit with white LED. The back panel is painted magenta, which is the trade dress color for T-Mobile. Just to touch on some of the code requirements for this sign, LED is actually not one of the specified lighting sources that are allowed in this district. However, due to this requirement being written before the adoption of LED, BI does allow replacements for individual types of lighting, which in this case it would be neon, as long as they're used in the same way. So since the lighting source is not visible, there's a white face over it, and the sign is going to look the same regardless of the lighting type. We do allow LED for this application. Oops. And now this is slippery. Here's another detail. It shows a cross-section view. You can see the back plate is about an inch. All the wiring would be behind the letters themselves and contained in that back plate. And then we have a 3-inch channel letter with, again, white LED lighting. The returns on all the letters are white. The trim cap's white. The sign is entirely white and pink. And we have a remote power supply behind the wall. Here are the subject site photos from the site visit. We've got one kind of straight on, and then one facing east and another facing west. Here are some of the surrounding signs in this district. You can see the big marker there that says Jefferson with the open face neon letters. That's been there a while. I'm pretty sure that's porcelain on there. A really cool old sign. You've got the AutoZone sign. I will zoom into that. Which is just a flex face in a cabinet. Here's the Amex sign next door, which would be very similar in construction to this T-Mobile sign. It's, again, just channel letters mounted on a back plate. You can see this has a raised area on it, but very similar construction. There's, of course, the Fiesta sign in the middle of that same shopping center that are just very large channel letters. And here are some signs at some of the corners and across the street. We've got this pawn shop across the street. It has channel letters on a raceway here. And we've got some capsules on each side. You can see across Jefferson, there's a large cabinet here, which actually came through when I first started a couple years ago. The Metro by T-Mobile, which is also on that same wall and also came through. A little further down, the chicken, rice, all of those are channel letters located on the raceway. The Ranchito across the street. You can see it's got a plastic face in that pole sign with a reader board below, all plastic faces. There's neon mounted to a metal panel there. And directly across the street, there's several different kinds of signs, channel letters, flat attached signs, there's some awning signs. And finally, there's the Jerry's supermarket on the other corner. Again, just big channel letters. I believe those are probably still neon on the insides. And then there's some neon in the McDonald's across the street, but all plastic faces. So kind of a mix of all kinds of signs. Staff recommends approval.
Just a couple of quick questions. One is, when you have a shopping center that looks like it's one contiguous building, then you have multiple signs designating the individual tenants. So when you get down to the T-Mobile sign, then is all of that taken into calculating the allowable square footage of signage for that building? Is each one considered individually? How do you come up with a formula for determining whether we have an excessive square footage of signage on that entire facade?
Each tenant, as long as they have a clear lease space and an entry, get back to the page here. So this tenant's lease space is 85 feet long. So we just take their lease space and that's their facade. So they're given a facade allowance for their particular facade.
Okay, so that's how we control that we don't have excessive numbers of signs hanging all over the place.
And each tenant can only locate a sign on their facade unless they were to put it on the side of the building, say over
Because
here.
like they have a corner.
Yeah, say over here.
Yeah.
As long as there's no windows or doors, we allow every tenant to advertise on that. But every tenant would share that 20 or that 15% allowance.
Okay. And then while you still have this one up, is this an old sign for T-Mobile right there?
Yes.
Because now they're switching to the magenta background and everything, so it will be, instead of having the three colors, black, white, and I'm assuming that's magenta, it's all gonna be magenta background with the white.
Correct.
Okay.
And this is really just a replacement that's
Yeah.
essentially the same size as that. I mean, that's what it looks
Or is
like.
it?
It's
it
pretty
looks like it
close,
might be
yes.
a tad larger, but,
I think we might have a comparison on one of these other pages.
well, and you had the one that kind of showed the two side by side that.
So
might kind of
the back plate might be a little taller, but it looks like the same.
Yeah.
It's essentially the same,
Yeah, it's not,
basically.
not huge. Then another thing I noted that I had not seen in our documentation before on signage is the procedure for permitting for special sign districts. Has any of that changed? Because I don't remember us ever discussing that it had to go back to potentially a public hearing,
The
but
C,
not to CPC. Is that it's always been there that CPC okay. I just had not seen it in print before and I was going like, okay, is there something I've been missing? Okay, those were my questions, and then you hit the one about the light and the fact that we're not allowing LEDs. Any other questions from you guys?
Jason, did I misunderstand? Did you say they were doing two of these?
no, there's only one. The other sign in the picture is just the sign that's currently there.
Yeah, I thought I heard you say they were putting one on the end as well. I'm sorry.
Oh, he was explaining to me, Murphy, about if you had a turn on a side of a building with no windows, how you could have multiple tenants listed on that facade.
Okay.
And then each one gets a certain proportion. That was just educating dumb old me.
Oh,
Okay. Hey. Okay, any other question, guys? If there are no questions, then do we have a motion?
Motion to approve.
Okay, motion from David to approve. Is there a second?
This is Todd. I'll second.
Okay, Todd raised his hand for a second, so Todd is the second. All in favor? Let's see, I guess we need to do roll call. David?
Approve.
Approve. Commissioner Hawk?
Approved.
Murphy?
approved.
And Todd, since you were involved in the motion, do you approve?
Approved.
Okay. And chair approves, so it's unanimous.
All right, these next two cases have been withdrawn by the applicant. This first one, item number 21101500003, the applicant has requested denial on. The next item, also from the same applicant, has also requested this be withdrawn. However, due to a posting error on the agenda, no action can be taken on this particular item. However, it has been withdrawn, so we do need an action on 21101500003.
So, since it's been withdrawn, I guess I'm confused. would the action be then to have a motion to reject it? Or just
deny it.
to deny it? Okay. Do we have a motion to deny this application? And that's the one that is 211-015-0004.
3.
Oops, 3, I'm sorry. Thank you.
I'll make the motion.
Okay, Commissioner Hogg has a motion to deny. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
David, second. We'll go through our roll call again. Todd, your vote, please, sir.
To deny, agree.
Deny Murphy?
Denial.
Denial. Commissioner Hogg?
Denial.
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 David, denial, and the chair votes for denial. So we have a unanimous decision to, quote, accept denial of that particular issue.
Okay. The next items are 3 for the same site, which the motion was made previously to hear them all at once. So I'll go through all the presentations and then you guys can make a motion after it's completed. The next item, we do have Janet Glasscock from Brazo Sign Company as a speaker on this one. And the first item is 21101-50006. It's an application for a certificate of appropriateness by Janet Glasscock of Brazo Sign Company for a 70.04 square foot illuminated sign. The subject site is 1900 Cedar Springs. The sign will be located on the west elevation. It is located in the downtown special provision sign district. It's in the perimeter sub-district and is zoned PD 193 sub-district 50. This is sign A, which is the first of 2 signs on this facade and the first of 3 signs on the premise. All of the proposed signs are going to be reviewed by this body. And the construction of the proposed sign is in accordance with the SBSD regulations and meets the requirements of the Dallas City Code per section 51A 7.300. Here is an aerial map. You can see it's on the west elevation closest to the corner there along Cedar Springs. And the zoning. PD 193 sub-district 50 follows business zoning rules. So since the perimeter follows the base zoning on that SBSD, this follows business rules. Here's the applicant submitted location map and a floor plan kind of showing an overview. And I've indicated the elevation sign 1A. You can see it is a metal, plastic, and LED lighted sign. It consists of 2 sets of channel letters. The Sugar Factory letter set is open-faced with exposed white LED bulbs designed to mimic the look of an incandescent bulb. The outside returns and the retainers of the letters will be painted or polished gold, while the inside returns and faces of the letter will be painted white. The American Brasserie, I hope I said that right, is a channel letter set and it's backlit with white LED lighting. These letters are designed to be trim capless. They have gold returns with white acrylic faces, and the overall projection of this sign will not exceed 6 inches from the building. Here's those details that kind of call out how everything's constructed, as well as sizes.
Jason, before we go on, and I'm sorry to interrupt your presentation, but I was concerned because on this particular facade, these have they mimic incandescent bulbs. Janet, they're not going to be, I read in one place here that was not to be a flashing display.
Exactly.
Okay, none of the signs signage here will be flashing display, because I got a little confused when it was A1 and B1 and all of that, so I just wanted to be clear. Because our police department would get upset with us if we had flashing lights that would be distracting to motorists.
Yeah, down here it says letter illumination
Yeah.
to be steady burn, no flashing or blinking. And our
I saw
ordinance
that,
will
and I
not
just wanted to
allow
be
that.
sure that all of the signage was consistent with that.
Any other questions on the sign detail?
How intense is since this is an exposed LED, how intense is that light? I mean, is it gonna be really bright, or, I guess what I'm wondering is if you're looking straight at it.
You can't really tell lumens and stuff with LED, but
You know, I really like the idea, just. how-
yeah, and that brings up
How bright is it
another
gonna look?
issue, David, and that is there a way to attenuate the intensity of those lights, just like with a dimmer? To put
Well-
it in plain vanilla tones.
That's a good question.
Because I know in some areas we've done that with LEDs that were bright and offensive to neighborhoods and stuff in other areas.
I'm assuming it's not supposed to be so bright that you can't read the sign, obviously, you wanna read
Yeah.
the sign,
It does say that they're 1 watt light bulbs.
one.
So that would be,
And it's a warm light, it's not the bright light,
Okay,
it's a warm light.
so it's really more for a glow than,
okay.
you know,
The bottom channel letters have the backlit, so it's just gonna be a glow from the back of the bottom and
right,
a frontal glow.
and these will just outline, these will
Yes.
be, okay.
If they got too bright, you wouldn't be able to distinguish the individual.
Yeah,
So-
exactly. Okay.
Okay. Jason, I'm sorry about the interruption, but I just couldn't hold myself back on that.
All right, here's another detail. It shows the side view there. You can see the sockets
Yeah.
and how the wiring is behind the actual recessed face of the channel letter. The other side, just a typical trim capless channel letter. And here is a photo of the site. This one is kind of another example of facade divisions. Since they have a clear storefront, their area calculation is only their storefront, whereas the morose signs have their own calculation for the facade, excluding their facade. There's one picture from Harwood, or I guess 2 pictures from Harwood, and then one kind of right in the middle of the intersection from Harwood and Cedar Springs. And you can see where the banners are now. Those are relatively close to what the sizes of the signs are going to be, and in the correct locations.
That other sign-
Here's some signs.
Question?
Repeat, we didn't hear you, Murphy, can you repeat?
The signage looks awesome. The morose.
Yeah, I did when I was researching those. I did see your name on those.
Yeah. Yeah, better pictures
All
of
right.
it than I.
Murphy, you're breaking up. We're having trouble understanding you.
But that's not,
Jason has better pictures of that sign than I do.
Oh, okay.
It's probably before digital cameras when that was put up.
You're right.
That's fine, love it.
All right, so here are some signs around this district. The Spaces sign is actually just a set of channel letters with some perforated vinyl on the front, so it looks black during the day and it'll light up white. It's actually a Cedar Springs just to the side of this location. You've got the Moreau signs, which are reverse lit channel letters. They halo light. There's a cycle bar across the street, across Harwood, which is some lighted channel letters. You can also see a little projecting sign there on the side. There's the dot B's. They're a set of halo lit channel letters on a wall. It's further up at the intersection of McKinney and Harwood. And then the Moreau sign for the parking which is just a metal face cabinet with routed plastic back lettering in there. It's a long hardwood. Here is at the corner of McKinney and Harwood. This is one of the newer restaurants, the Haywire. Those are some halo lit letters. They've got rebar on the faces that have been welded together to kind of stack on top of the reverse lit letter. You can see the Kava sign. It is LED neon replacement, so it's kind of a skeleton neon. You can see the WeWork sign, which actually went through this board a couple years ago. I believe it's a reverse lit channel letter. And staff has recommended approval.
Okay, we can go on and go to the next one then, and we'll just
All right.
check them all at once.
The next item is 211015007. It's an application for a certificate of appropriateness by Janet Glasscock of Brasco Sign Company for a 67.98 square foot LED illuminated attached sign. The location is again 1900 Cedar Springs, and this sign is also on the west elevation. It is in the downtown special provision sign district in the perimeter subdistrict, PD 193, subdistrict 50. This is sign B1. It's the second of 2 signs on this facade and the second of 3 signs on the premise. And again, all signs are being reviewed today by this body. The applicable code section is 51A 7.305, and it does meet all requirements by the Dallas City Code for construction. Sorry. Here is the aerial map. You can see this sign just a little bit south of the previous sign. And that satellite skew is brutal on the way those property lines come out. But it is a tiny bit south over the entrance. Here's the zoning map. Again, P 193, subdistrict 50, tract 1. And here is the applicant supplied location map. And the floor plan. And the elevation, I've indicated B1 on there. You can see the breakdown. I didn't point this out last time, but you can see the breakdown on the primary facade and the allowed square footage. They're allowed 587.68 square feet, and they're occupying 138.02 with both signs on that facade. And here's the sign detail. Again, all metal, plastic, and LED lighting. It consists of trim capless channel letters mounted on a metal face cabinet. The channel letters are backlit with white LED lighting. The faces of the letters are multicolored with translucent and digitally printed vinyl graphics. The cabinet has a white metal face and contains a raised LED illuminated border and continues the exposed white LED bulbs designed to mimic the incandescent bulbs like the other sign had. All the returns on this sign will be polished gold. The overall projection is approximately 7 inches. And again, the detail continued. Here are the site photos. They're identical to the last slide. You can see this sign goes where the smaller banner is over the door in that gray brick area. And again, some signs around the area. And staff recommends approval.
Jason, could you go back to where you have all the different multicolored things and step me through a little more slowly how each element of right here, how each one of those elements is handled? Because maybe it's because I was reviewing these really late last night, but like the little circle things, those are back illuminated with a colored vinyl overlay, correct? And the duct
Yes.
is the same treatment?
Yeah, basically you have the plastic face there in the very, very front.
Yeah.
There'll be colored vinyl on the front of that face that allows light to be colored as it goes through.
Okay, and then where you had the sugar factory, I think it was, go back one slide. I have to see things. Okay, and where you had sugar factory, how was that executed? Was that channel?
Yes, those are channel letters as well.
Okay,
All of the graphics would be channel letters.
okay, so the sugar, well, the sugar is different treatment, it's all in black.
The sugar has that day-night vinyl like the spaces do.
Okay.
So it's perforated and you can see white. That's correct, right?
Okay,
So you can see white light at night. It's kind of a real light grayish, but it does light up white at night.
okay, and so the factory then is the same treatment as up above where the circles
Yes.
are? Okay, I just got confused and it was because I was reviewing too late last night. Wanted to be sure I understood.
Is there one row of bulbs all the way around it?
It looks like it.
Okay.
There it is, yeah. Thank you, Janet, for confirming.
Yeah, it looks like on the side section there at the top, there's two bulbs. I can't, it's hard to see. But it's one light
Yeah.
row of bulbs all the way out.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just for a minute.
And again, they point out that they're all steady burn.
Yeah.
No flashing or blinking.
Any
No
other
color
questions?
changing?
It's all white LED. Everything was spec white.
Okay.
Can I ask a
Simon.
curiosity?
Say again, Murphy?
What do they do? I'm just curious.
The Sugar Factory, it's a restaurant slash bar. I hadn't heard them, they're out of Vegas, and they do these specialty drinks where there are all these bright colors and the smoke comes out and there's candy in them,
Oh, joy.
and, yeah.
Murphy will be hanging out there.
Yeah. So,
Murphy, what would we do without you?
Oh.
Okay,
a little sugar on the
other questions?
very unique signage.
Todd, did you have? No questions, Todd? I saw you shake your head, but you were muted. Commissioner Hahn, did you have any
No
questions? Okay,
Okay, the final item. Item number 211015007, an application for a certificate of appropriateness by Janet Glasscock of Brazo Sign Company for an 84.79 square foot LED illuminated attached sign. Again, the location is 1900 Cedar Springs. This sign is on the north elevation. Downtown Special Provision Sign District in the Perimeter Subdistrict, Zone PD 93, Subdistrict 50. This is sign C, and it is the only sign located on this facade. It is the last of 3 signs on the premise, and again, all of these signs are reviewed by this body today. The applicable code section is 51A 7.305, attached signs for business zone districts, and all code requirements have been met.
Jason, this one's actually 008.
Oh, did I read that wrong? Excuse
It's
me.
007 on up there.
Okay, I'll fix that. It is actually 211015008. Thank you.
yeah, before it goes to CPC. Thank you, Gina, for catching that. And that was only on the report.
Yes,
Jason. That's what I
yes.
saw it on.
Or the presentation report's correct. Sorry, the aerial map, you can see it's on the north elevation closest to the corner. And the zoning. And here's the location map. And you can see the floor plan. Here is the facade breakdown. They are allowed 238.65 square feet, and this sign occupies 136.0. This sign occupies 67.98 square feet of that. And I'm not sure where that number came from.
Which number, Jason?
The 136.79 square feet.
Looking back in the report itself.
I'll remove that from the presentation. I
Okay.
think that was on the drawing that was submitted, but
Yeah, because in the summary, it says that applicant proposes to install 84.79 square feet. And it may have been if you copied and pasted something that it got carried over from something else.
actually I'm reading 7 here. Here we go. Yes, it's 84.79 square feet, excuse me. But it should say, instead of 136.79, it should say 84.79 square feet. Here is a sign detail, again, constructed entirely of metal, plastic, and LED lighting. It has trim capless channel letters that are backlit with white LED lighting. The faces of the channel letters are white acrylic. The logos are covered with gold translucent vinyl graphics. And all the returns on the sign will be polished gold. The overall projection of the sign will not exceed 5 inches. Here is, again, the photos of the subject site. You can see the banner here along Harwood is where that sign is going to go. And signs around the district. And staff recommends approval.
Any questions?
So that sign didn't have any exposed bowls. That was just the backlit stuff.
Any questions from those of you who are on WebEx?
Nope.
No questions?
Nope.
No questions? Do we have a motion to approve? And then the motion needs to approve all 3 signs at one time.
I'll motion to approve
Okay,
all
motion
3 signs with corrections as noted to the last one,
to the,
08.
yeah. Okay.
I'll
Is there a second? Second from Commissioner Hack? Okay, let's go through our roll call vote again. Todd?
Approved.
Murphy?
Approved.
Murphy, are you muted?
Oh, maybe.
No,
No, now you're muted. I just couldn't hear your vote. Unmute yourself.
Approved.
Okay. Commissioner Hawk?
Approved.
Approved. David?
Approved.
And the chair votes to approve. Okay, that's unanimous. And then we have one other item. Thank you so much, Janet. The minutes from the last meeting, did anybody have any corrections, additions to the minutes?
No, they look good to me.
Okay, hearing no corrections or additions to the minutes, do we have a motion? Well, if there are no, we don't need it. Okay, then they stand approved as stated since we have no corrections or additions. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. It is now 9:41 a.m. and we stand adjourned, having accomplished all of our business. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Everybody have a great day.